Stuff I found interesting.
Right, so stuff I found interesting. This is literally our little board to throw anything we came across this past week. And I wanted to throw something on here, which was a great little article, kind of storyboard piece, if you'd like, from the New York Times, who we actually just spoke about. And the title of this piece was The Unexpected Solace in Learning to Play the Piano. And I just found it such a refreshing little piece. For those of you who don't love reading like me, I'm definitely very, very visual, and I'm trying to make an effort to read a lot more. But I really loved the message that I got from this little piece. So it was really just a piece of this guy and how during this lockdown, he figured it was a time to turn to new skills, learn some new things. But then he realized that he wasn't good at learning cooking or pottery or any of these other sort of random hobbies. So he wanted to then extend his current hobbies a little bit further, which were running and playing piano. And running, there's obviously a limited amount of running you can do. You can't exactly do it every single day. Body's not going to be very happy with that. So he turned to his piano. And it was just this journey that really just shows you how important it is for us to have an escape in life. When the world is literally on fire and things are going crazy and running rampant all around us. And there is one thing you just can't deny. Those keys will always be the same. You can always pick up a composition and play it, whether it's 142 years old or whatever the case is. And so there's something so special about that, I guess. And this piece really just showed it to me. What it also showed is really how hard it is to play piano. When you start thinking about the skills that you need to do, at the same time, you need to be reading, listening, thinking, translating, because ultimately it's a language. And there's actually, you're not left with any capacity to think and overthink about what's happening outside. So yeah, I think it's just such a great little piece. I definitely recommend you go and check it out. As I said, from the New York Times. And the sketch is really great too. Just two little quotes before I ramble on and on even more. Which I really loved about this was, it makes no difference whether I'm inspired or not. And I think that's one of the things with hobbies. When it comes to reading or, watching a particular style of movie, you really need to be in the mood. You can't just kind of pick it up every single day. Where playing a piano, you can play 2 bars on end for hours and hours and hours. And it's just one of those things where you don't always have to write new content. There's loads of compositions out there that will fit the mood that you're in. And I thought that was great. The other thing that I really, really enjoyed was talking about those 142-year-old compositions and really just describing them in this little phrase that the composers would have, kind of inferred when they created it. And that is, follow these precise instructions to bring the composition alive for some fleeting seconds, which I really just loved.
I really love that. I think that I've always been in awe of the power of sheet music. Like the whole idea that, like you say, 142 years ago, some guy can write these little squiggles on a piece of paper, which is like his idea for what comes out of his brain. He manifests it onto a piece of paper, and that you and I, Chad, can print that out today and play exactly what that person imagined all those years ago is really cool. It's like it's history on paper. Yeah. And when it comes to music is such an important role in our lives as human beings, right? Like you said, it brings us escapism. It brings us definitely opportunities to be happy or to be sad. It brings us opportunities to kind of express ourselves in a way that you can't do with other mediums. And so music really is super powerful. And the idea that you can manifest an idea from your brain and put it on paper for someone else to play and someone else to express and someone else to be inspired by is really cool. And so I think that for anyone who's able to learn a musical instrument, it really is an amazing journey to go on. To go from that moment where you don't know what you're doing, your fingers are sore, you can't figure stuff out, it takes a time to get there. Yeah. But when you get to a stage where you can pick up a composition and play it, there's something freeing about that, and there's something really cool about that. It brings to mind those videos of those piano prodigies, like those 9-year-old kids in China and in Japan who are able to play like incredibly complex pieces of music, and it looks like they are actually the piano. Like the piano and them become like joined together. You see the emotion, you see them swaying in their seat, you see them feeling that expression, and so it becomes so much more than just pushing a bunch of keys. It becomes a real creative moment where you can get out of yourself and kind of imbue yourself into some music. And so super cool, Chad. I need to go and check this out. And it makes me inspired. I want to go and play some piano now.
You really, really should, Barry. And I wish you were this side, because one of the cool things that London does have is a few pianos scattered in a couple of locations. So some that come to mind is the Tottenham Court Road tube station, where there's a Yamaha piano over there. There's another one in King's Cross. And there's been many times where I walk past and, like you say, see an extremely young person just playing this amazing piece, and just to see that crowd develop around them, and really just enjoy the atmosphere and the moment. And I don't know, it's one of those things that's really just hard to describe, but something so important. I've definitely been missing having a piano this side as well, and I certainly think I'm going to be browsing on Jeff Bezos's account tonight. Let's now move on to our next segment.
Across the pond with Barry and Chad.